Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. Friends, in this video we'll have a discussion of the important questions from the very famous poem titled I Shall Go Back in the New Year, composed by Nilim Kumar. And this poem is prescribed for the first semester BCA and B.SC course under Bangalore University and Bangalore North University. So let's have a discussion of the 2 marks and 5 marks questions from the poem I Shall Go Back in the New Year. The very first, let's have a discussion of the 2 marks questions. Question number 1, who thinks about going backwards? So the poet thinks about going backwards. Question number 2, why does the poet want to sell his 2 cars? Because he would like to buy a bicycle. Question number 3, why does the poet prefer bamboo fence? Because the bamboo fence will allow air to pass through without intervention towards his home. Question number 4, mention any 2 resolutions the poet makes for the new year. He makes the resolutions like he would like to buy a bicycle, he would like to build a bamboo fence, he wishes to repair his old phone, he tries to avoid the lies for the new year. So these are the resolutions the poet would like to make for the new year. Question number 5, what old things does the poet prefer? He prefers old phone. Question number 6, why does the poet promise that he would not lie? Because he says that lies are important to move further. So he decides to live in the past and enjoy the company of the past without embracing the new year, which will be filled with many lies. Question number 7, what makes the poet go back from civilization? He receives a kind of grace in moving towards the past, so he would like to go back from civilization. Question number 8, where does the writer wish to go? Where does the poet wish to go? The poet wishes to go to the past. Question number 9, where does the writer wish to go? The writer wishes to go to the past. Then what does the poet demolish? The poet demolishes the concrete walls of his compound. Question number 10, where does the air pass through? The air passes through the squares of bamboo mesh. Question number 11, how much money does the poet spend on old handset? He spends rupees 800 rupees. He spends only 800 rupees for his old handset. Then we have here question number 12, where did the writer pick the plantain leaves? He picked the plantain leaves from the backyard. So these are the 2 marks questions from this poem. Now let's have a discussion of the 5 marks questions. Question number 1, why does the poet want to go back? Or people always have to look forward, but in the poem, why do you think the poet wants to look back? So the poem titled I Shall Go Back the New Year is composed by Nilim Kumar. In this poem, the poet speaks about the resolution made for the new year. He expresses his willingness to go back instead of stepping forward for the new year. He would like to look back and reflect what he had accomplished in the past. He gives more importance to the past than the future. He wants to go back. He wants to go back from the civilization, and for this, he takes some decisive resolution. He would like to go back to a civilization to avoid the lies for the new year because the lies are important to move further. He decides to live in the past and enjoy the company of the past without embracing the new year, which will be filled with many lies. So, as the poet has rightly remarked, he says, this new year I shall go back. Everyone thinks about stepping forward in the new year. This new year I shall go backward. Question number 2, what are the decisive resolutions taken by the poet in this new year? The poet wants to go back from the civilization, and for this, he takes some decisive resolutions. He rejects the idea of buying a new car this new year because everyone thinks. He decides to sell his 2 cars for what? To buy a bicycle. Unlike other people, he doesn't wish to build a new house. Instead of buying a new flat, he desires to demolish the concrete walls of his compound and build a bamboo fence which will air to pass through without any intervention towards his home. It shows that he doesn't like walls. He is a man of free thoughts. He emphasizes to return to the past instead of planning for the future. Instead of buying a new Android phone mobile, he wishes to repair his old phone which he bought only for rupees 800. He would like to arrange a new Chinese eyeglass instead of going for the eye checkup. He could easily get Chinese reading glasses for just rupees 850 from the footpath of fancy bazaar. He wishes to go to the past when the civilization was developing. He would like to lead a simple life. Question number 3. Why does the poet think he's different from others? Arrival of New Year is important because many resolutions are being made for the upcoming year, but the poet does not want to live New Year. He likes to enjoy the past. Unlike others, he wants to retain the old objects with repair, like his old phone. He would like to buy a bicycle by selling two cars. He would like to arrange a new Chinese eyeglass instead of going for eye checkup. He could easily get Chinese reading glasses for just rupees 850 from the footpath of Fancy Bazaar. Instead of buying a new flat, he likes to demolish the concrete walls of his compound and build a bamboo fence which will air to pass through without any intervention towards his home so that air could easily his house could be more airy, so that he would like to demolish the concrete walls. So it shows that he doesn't like walls. He's a man of free thoughts. He emphasizes to return to the past instead of planning for the future. All these thoughts make him different from others. As he says, I swear, shall not tell a single lie, because this time I shall not go forward. In this new year, I will rush back from civilization. Turn back, turn back. There is fun in going back. Next question. Why does the poet say there's a fun in going back? And do you believe that there is a fun in going back? Explain. The poem titled I Shall Go Back in the New Year is composed by Nilim Kumar. In this poem, the poet speaks about the resolution made for the new year. He expresses his willingness to go back instead of stepping forward for the new year. In this process, he takes some decisive resolution. He takes these decisions in a very easy manner. Unlike others, he wants to retain the old objects with repair, just like his phone. He would like to buy a bicycle by selling his two cars. He would like to arrange a new Chinese eyeglass instead of going for eye checkup. He could easily get Chinese reading glasses just for rupees 850 from the footpath of Fancy Bazaar. So instead of buying a new flat, he would like to demolish the concrete walls of his compound and build a new bamboo fence so that his home would be more airy and he would get more air. That shows that he doesn't like walls. He's a man of free thoughts. He emphasizes to return to the past instead of planning for the future. The poet promises that he would not step in the new year. It is itself a truth which he wants to prove by embracing the past. He feels a kind of a fun. He feels that a kind of a fun is going off. A king of fun is going back. He accepts this fun with a lot of determination and dedication. Though the fruitful new year intoxicates him, he denies to move further. He receives a kind of grace in moving towards the past. So the poet has rightly mentioned here, I swear, shall not tell a single lie, because this time I shall not go forward. In this year, I would rush back from civilization, turn back, turn back. There's a fun in going back. So you need to mention here these original lines so that you will get the best marks. Now we have a last question. List out the resolutions made by the poet for the new year. So this question is in the form of like a summary in nutshell, I would say. So most people all over the world, the poet says that the most people all over all all over the world make New Year, make so many resolutions. The poet justifies his resolutions. He says many people prefer to buy a new vehicle, but the poet would like to sell his two cars and he wants to buy a bicycle. That shows his concern towards the environment. Instead of buying a new house or a new flat, he would like to demolish the concrete wall of of the compound which surrounding his house and replace it with a bamboo face fence, so the fresh and cool air will pass through the squares. When everyone thinks of going forward the past, everyone is everyone thinks of going forward, the poet has decided to go backward. Everyone will think of buying a lot of new things like the cracked screen of his phone, changed and use it. He had bought it for 800 rupees. He does not want to waste precious money on fancy gadgets. Though he's aging, his eyes are getting him. He doesn't want to get his eyes tested. He resolves to buy a Chinese reading glass, magnifying glass, just for rupees 150 from the footpath of fancy bazaar. That signals to rush back. He's also decided not to use the porcelain utensils or drink from the glass tumbler. He will get a plantain leaf growing in his backyard and serve food on it to eat. He will throw away the steel spoons and use his hand. The poet would like to walk barefoot, discarding the sandals and shoes. He wants to experience the journey back. He is of the opinion that the modern civilization is a charade. For survival, everyone begins to lie. He has pledged not to tell a single lie. He would do all these for it is fun. By this, people can live life which is full of virtues. So, friends, this is how I have tried to solve the questions of the famous poem by Nilim. So if you have any questions, you can write in the comment box. You can mail me mukeshenglish@gmail.com. If you are not yet subscribed, subscribe the channel, click on the like button. If you would like to know the videos on the other lessons of first semester BCA, B.SC, just glance the description box. You'll get all the videos links, not only the course book, but also the workbook. Or else you can go through the playlist from the on my YouTube channel. So guys, thank you so much. Keep watching. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.